Welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning back into another episode of the Game of Cryptos. I hope you guys are all doing well. At the time of this video, Bitcoin is at about $2.3 trillion market cap and around $117,000. Again, let me say that $117,000, guys. This video, I'm just going to do a brief discussion as, again, this is not financial advice as to why it could be beneficial and why I'm going to utilize Bitcoin as a long-term savings account. Now, yes, you can still have your favorite altcoins if you're into Solana, Sui, Tau, your meme coins, any of that stuff. You can still do that in the coming years, in the next cycles. But I would highly, again, not financial advice, potentially think about putting using Bitcoin as your savings account. Bitcoin is now, by market cap, the sixth highest asset in the world. And honestly, it's not that far from beating Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, then getting to Nvidia's market cap, and then very, very soon rivaling gold at 22 trillion and surpassing that. And honestly, Bitcoin is a better version of gold. It is gold 2.0. It will surpass that valuation. Now, the thing is, when is that going to happen? So, guys, for this video, again, me talking about Bitcoin as your savings account. Bitcoin, at one point, you could have got it at $1. You could have got it at $10. Oh, I should have brought it at $100. I should have brought it at $1,000. I should have brought it at $100,000. And very well, maybe in the next cycle or in 10 years from now, people will be talking about Bitcoin at $1 million. And then in maybe another 5-10 years from there, people will be talking about Bitcoin at 10 million. The saying goes that fiat is going to continuously be being printed. And the more fiat gets printed, the more inflation happens. And if inflation is happening, that means the value of your dollar is going down. Your purchasing power over time is going down, as you can see from this visual. At one point, a certain amount of money could get you a house. And now that money that used to be able to get you a house back in the day only gets you a car. And then that same amount of money only gets you a bike. And then that same amount of money gets you a coffee. Like, what it's saying is you're losing value. Your power of what you're able to buy has gone down. But if you look at the reverse side, Bitcoin gives you more purchasing power. At one point, that same amount of Bitcoin gets you just a car. That same amount of Bitcoin, as time goes on, now gets you a house. That same amount of Bitcoin, as time further goes on, you go from a house to a mansion. And then, as more time goes on, 10 years down the line, 15, 20, 30, now you have a mansion, you have the Lambo, you have the cars, the clothes, you have everything you could have ever wanted. But you only get that from investing in sound money, something that isn't being debased, something that isn't being printed. And as we know, the government keeps just printing money. And as long as they keep printing money, the value of your dollar will go down. Things go down in value in the dollar, but things go up in value when measured in Bitcoin. You get more of your worth. It stores your purchasing power. It's a store of labor. It's a store of value. It's a store of energy. Guys, and most of these visuals are from Bitcoin Thanos off of Twitter or X. That's where I'm getting a lot of these. 8 billion people in this world. and only 21 million Bitcoin. 8 billion people in this world and only 21 million Bitcoin. There's a statistic that says out of all the millionaires that exist, Bitcoin is so finite that even if all the millionaires wanted to get one full Bitcoin, they couldn't do it. Bitcoin is a scarce asset. Arguably the hardest asset that you could ever own. Over silver, over gold, even better than the S&P 500, any of the stocks. Bitcoin is like the singularity point of a black hole. Everything over a certain amount of time eventually it will attract all the investors and people's money to it. It's inevitable. It's unavoidable. It's getting too big to the point where you can't ignore it. And that's why I think saving your money in Bitcoin, the way I look at it is if you look at your regular, bank account statement. Let's say you have your checking account, you have your savings account, and then I put I think of it as a third option. If you have your Bitcoin and you of course take your Bitcoin off exchanges, if you buy it off of Coinbase or whatever, take that money and put it in cold storage, because only then do you truly own your Bitcoin. You are not a true owner of Bitcoin if you let an exchange have that in their custody, because if God forbid something happens to that exchange, which we have seen before, the cryptos, your Bitcoin is gone bye-bye. And that's why Bitcoin is so powerful. It's banking the unbanked. You are the bank. And with that does come a heavy amount of responsibility. But at the same time, you no longer have to ask permission to, I want to withdraw $1,000, $10,000. No, that's your money. And that's why I think saving in Bitcoin could be very, very beneficial for everyone. And I'm not saying taking all the money you get from, work, your job, businesses or whatever, and converting it into Bitcoin, but maybe you do a certain percentage of it. You get a paycheck, maybe you put 25% of it away in Bitcoin. Because as we have seen, Bitcoin goes up into the right over time, and money goes down into the right over time. It loses value, the US dollar, all fiats, all government issue currencies go down over time due to inflation. Bitcoin and the value and the rate of return, the compound annual growth rate, continuously goes up, and it beats and surpasses the rate of inflation. And that's how the rich get richer, because they are invested in assets that are outpacing inflation when they turn on the money printer. So Bitcoin gives you the opportunity to get a head start, to get ahead, and it doesn't matter the price of Bitcoin. You don't need to get a whole Bitcoin. You don't need to get a half a Bitcoin. Get a quarter of a Bitcoin. Get a tenth of a Bitcoin. Get off zero. This visual, I really like it because right now, how it starts, this is basically saying this guy right here is up against everyone because they're the only one saving in Bitcoin, and everyone else is just kind of like, this. I know a lot of people watching this can relate to this, where you feel like your friends or your family, they're like, what is with you in these investments in crypto and Bitcoin? And you're like the trailblazer, and they don't get it. And there will become a time where hopefully they do get it, and they'll be like, aha. So right now, being a Bitcoiner, owning Bitcoin, being in crypto, you might feel like a minority. But over time, on the right, it says how it ends is everyone is going to get orange pilled and realize the power and the value of being invested in Bitcoin to save, have your money in something that preserves your labor, that preserves your energy. So at one point, something that was the minority becomes the majority. And now it gets flipped on itself, where the dollar, now if you're saving in dollars, you end up looking like you're the odd one. That'll be the day. That'll be a really interesting day. But I do think that, as time goes on, more and more of this will happen. People will get orange pilled. People will have the wake up calls and realize how important it is to have some of your money stored in Bitcoin. Again, it doesn't have to be all of it. And honestly, that goes for even, investing in altcoins. Yes, you can buy altcoins. You can buy your favorite AI coin, your layer 1 coin. But guys, at the end of the day, these cryptos come and go. And I know that my YouTube channel says the game of cryptos because as this channel started, I always talked about altcoins. And I still will. But right now, I just feel like if we really want to get this movement going, mass adoption, people really need to understand and get into something that actually is going to stick around. Because altcoins that you buy now are not more than likely going to exist in the next cycle. And I'm tired of seeing people come in expecting to make some money and then they get burned on the on a meme rug pull. That's not going to be good for this space. And I get it. I know a lot of people coming in don't want to necessarily buy Bitcoin because, I put $100 in, that's never going to amount to anything. But it's a start. It's better than not being invested in general, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice. And that's why I think that you should be looking at Bitcoin as you're not trying to get rich overnight. You're just trying to preserve the labor and energy that you're putting in today and reap the reward and benefits of it later. This is literally one of those moments where it's like the fruits of your labor. You're not going to get the benefits of saving money into Bitcoin right now. But it's only over time where you do see that difference, where you can really see that all of that hard work had paid off, So that is it for this video about, just the importance of why I think it's going to be very important for you guys moving forward to have allocation into Bitcoin. Now, for those of you that have been in altcoins, I'm one of them. I do plan on, monitoring this rest of this bull run and utilizing my altcoins to cash out on all of them and get into either USD to lock in those profits or the value. And then again, if the cycles play out again 4 years from now, we will, obviously, if this Bitcoin tops out this year, history says we usually bottom out in about a year from the top. So I will end up buying back in with profits from altcoins to get more Bitcoin. But my Bitcoin, I will just continuously to add to it and not take any money away from the current amount of Bitcoin that I have. That's what I'm doing. Again, it's not financial advice, but I mean, guys, there becomes a day when you see things like this and realize that you're losing purchasing power from the amount of things that you can buy. Why would you want to hold on to that for a long time? You don't want to save all your money and too much money in fiat. Get to a faster vehicle that is going to give you a chance to have that generational wealth, to give you a chance to potentially get out of your 9 to 5 one day, to give you a chance to have some more of your time back and be freer, to be able to make more choices. I hope this video makes sense. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys are thinking. And yeah, guys, if you guys like my Bitcoin content, let me know. I do want to do altcoin videos, but it's just lately I've just been on this Bitcoin kick, and I can't get enough of it, because this is my second cycle, and this is the cycle where I really do realize the importance of being invested in Bitcoin for your portfolio, because it has been just performing so well. So until next time, guys, I'll see you.